Minecon 2016. Hypixel had overtaken Mineplex as the most popular server in Minecraft, but it looked like that was about to change. Permanently. Behind the scenes, people believe that Hypixel was at odds with Mojang. The Hypixel staff gave off the impression that they no longer wanted anything to do with Mojang's creation, instead developing their own game. During a Mineplex staff YouTuber afterparty, this became a huge rumor. It seriously looked like Hypixel would cease to be a competitor in the Great Server War. Such a scenario would undoubtedly lead to Mineplex taking back the crown from Hypixel. While Mineplex was no longer at its peak, this was one of the most optimistic times to be a Mineplex player. Without the continuation of Hypixel, Mineplex would be the winner of the server war. Hypixel would be no more. The server looked like it had a bright future ahead. Fast forward to 2020, Mineplex is not even the third most popular Java Edition server anymore. In fact, Hypixel is much farther ahead than any of its competition. Hypixel recently hit its all-time record of 105,000 players at once. In comparison, Mineplex's Java Edition server only gets thousands. Mineplex Bedrock Edition consistently gets more players, something that may seem odd to Java Edition players who only know about the Java Edition server. Despite controlling one of the most popular servers on Bedrock Edition Minecraft, Mineplex is still a lot less popular than it once was. The story of Mineplex is an interesting one, with a lot of build-up and success. It lagged behind its competitors until the server immediately spiked in popularity. The server then went on a gradual decline. With all this, you might be wondering, what happened? What even led to all this? What let Mineplex become the largest server? And what led to its downfall? We'll get into all that and more in the rise and fall of Mineplex. Before we begin, you should buy my Badline cloak, and it's scientifically proven that wearing it makes you 100% more penguin. You'll really enjoy it, you should get it, use code Zyphon for 10% off. Anyways, back to the video. Mineplex was first created in early 2013 by Sterling and Spew. While the server is now known for its huge catalog of minigames, it was a small server game-wise. It was mostly known for two games, Castle Siege and Bridges. In its first year, Mineplex took off and quickly exploded. The first Mineplex news post was made on January 24th and the first game release on May 24th. This game was Castle Siege. Castle Siege attracted some big Minecraft YouTubers from the time. The game had two teams. Players would click on signs to choose a kit. There were 3 different game modes, with different objectives. In Classic mode, the objective is to siege the other team's castle. In Team Deathmatch, the winner would be the first team to 30 kills. One in the Quiver mode was essentially just another game, one in the Quiver, on the Castle Siege map. The other big game was Bridges. In this game, there are 4 teams of up to 10 players each. Each team has an island where they collect resources. After a 10-minute grace period, bridges to each team's island are created. Each team PvPs, and the last team standing wins. This game was comparable to another minigame from around the time, The Walls, a game developed by Hypixel and playable on the Minecade server. On June 27th, 2013, Mineplex released its first purchasable ranks, Pro, Ultra, Legend, and Ultimate. It was around this time the server began to expand. The server announced some minigames, including Dominate and Minecart. On the same day, gems were announced. Gems would be the main currency on Mineplex, allowing players to purchase select kits. With the server now expanding away from just Bridges and Castle Siege, the server had a whole lobby for players to look around in. On July 11th, Mineplex merged with another server, BetterMC. This was a huge deal for Mineplex. BetterMC had 3 minigames that they were known for: Dominate, Clans, and Minecart. Minecart was a game that had previously been announced and had now been ported over onto Mineplex. Minecart was a well-received game, which used a resource pack. Racers would choose a cart, which were just abused animals, and race around 3 maps in a Grand Prix. In the end, the top 3 racers would be displayed. This was a unique game for Minecraft at the time, and even to this day, only a handful of similar minigames even exist. Minecart was truly a masterpiece. 8 days after the merge, Mineplex added player statistics. Now, players could see their kill count, kill death ratio, and more. Mineplex was now a rapidly growing server. Over the next few months, the server announced and released a ton of new minigames. Zombie survival, mineware, dragons, one in the quiver, super spleef, dominate, milk the cow, barbarians, death tag, dragon escape, bacon brawl, snake, super smash mobs, and super paintball. Overall, it was a huge explosion of minigames for the server. This was helped by a new plugin that allowed games to be quickly made. Some of the shorter games were known as arcade games, playable only through a game rotation known as mixed arcade. I should also mention that the waiting lobby was redesigned into its iconic look that stuck around all the way to 2018. One of the server's most iconic games from that long list of games I just mentioned was Dragon Escape. The minigame is essentially parkour, but with the addition of an ender dragon inching its way from behind. The dragon destroys a map, so it's in the player's best interest to get as far away as possible. The player who gets the farthest in the map before dying is the winner. It would also be wrong to go through that list without talking about Super Smash Mobs. This game, based off of Super Smash Bros., features various classes with different skill sets and abilities. Notably, there was a bit of rivalry, at least to the players, between Mineplex and what was once the largest server in Minecraft, Minecade. Minecade also had their own version of Super Smash Bros., except it was much simpler and had many more classes. The two minigames were often compared with each other. Minecade Super Craft Bros. Was beloved for its constant updates and community interaction. Mineplex, on the other hand, was enjoyed for its use of plugins. Mineplex even went as far as make the players actually look like the mobs that they're playing as. As far as popularity goes, Minecade Super Craft Bros beat out Mineplex, especially since many more YouTubers made videos on the server. However, in the long run, Minecade fell, which meant that the Mineplex version would from then on get more attention. A lot of Minecade staff were upset about the server's management. Mineplex's rise happened during Minecade's fall. Spew, one of Mineplex's founders, even used to be a Minecade staff member. Hypixel, known for creating adventure maps as well as a Minecade game Walls, went on to create his own server. The server would be creatively known as Hypixel and would be one of Mineplex's main rival servers. In fact, Hypixel was more popular than Mineplex from the get-go. Hypixel was small, however, compared to the other major rival server, The Hive. The Hive was a server booming with huge YouTuber presence. At the time, it was Minecraft Java Edition's go-to multiplayer server. It featured classics such as Murder in Mineville and Hide and Seek. Mineplex had quite a bit of distance to go before it even had the potential to be the largest Minecraft server. Despite this, the staff at Mineplex played their cards right and would help the server become the largest English-speaking Minecraft server in under a year.
The next 365 days can be best described by Mineplex's numerous additions and updates to existing games. The anti-cheat was also released in beta. On October 26th, the server released the Halloween horror minigame for a limited time. This was the first holiday-themed minigame on the server. Christmas Chaos was another limited time minigame released the same year, except it was a Christmas-themed game, obviously. Seasonal minigames of this nature would go on to be some of the most memorable experiences for regular players on the server. One of the biggest criticisms of the server was how it favored North American players. As the server is based in North America, players from other regions of the world would have a higher ping. To address this, on November 8th, Mineplex released European servers. Now, European Mineplex players could experience the server's minigames with a much lower ping.
In April 2014, Mineplex began creating remakes of a few of their older games, namely Castle Siege and Champions. These remakes had super creative titles, Castle Siege 2.0 and Champions. Then there was July. This month was super eventful for Mineplex. This is when Mineplex went through some server-defining changes. Spew resigned from the server's leadership team on July 16th, meaning the Mineplex staff had to undergo massive changes. On July 18th, Mineplex went through what became known as the Great Restructure. The Helper rank was used as sort of a trial mod rank. Essentially, for up to 2 months, some players were given the opportunity to become a helper, with the possibility of an eventual promotion. The 15 existing helpers would be promoted to mod. The mod team was split into 2 groups, mod and senior mod. The 2 roles were similar, with the main difference being the senior mod team being split amongst multiple teams, based around the server's various functions. It was around this time when Mineplex overtook Hive, becoming the largest server in Minecraft. This didn't last for long, as Mineplex was swiftly overtaken by JavaMC, but the server still existed as the largest English-speaking server, still an impressive feat. Regardless of the exact ranking, Mineplex was now one of the servers on the top. It was a good time to be a Mineplex player all around, but that didn't mean that Mineplex didn't have any issues either. Mineplex was also tasked with enduring the biggest server shift in Minecraft history. You see, the way a lot of Minecraft servers were operating was that people would pay real-life money for in-game items and for exclusive servers. It was around this time when Mojang began to take action. Through the EULA, servers could no longer be paid to win. Servers like Hypixel were no longer able to make certain upgrades only obtainable by ranked players. Paid cosmetics were allowed, but not anything game-altering. You were still allowed to pay for advantages, but the advantage would have to be given to everyone. It became harder to justify selling ranks for ridiculously high prices. Every server in the entire game had to abide by these rules, Mineplex being no exception. Mineplex's response to the EULA change would be known as the Great Update. They had to remove premium servers or ranked only servers, making every server in the network free to play. Mineplex devised a system of treasure chests, cosmetics, and particle effects so as to give ranked players special perks. Kits that used to be obtainable only through buying a rank were now purchasable using gems. Mineplex continued to add new games. One hyped up announcement was that of Clans in December 2014. By all means, Mineplex was a server that was blossoming. In January 2015, it even broke the Guinness World Record for the most players on a Minecraft server at once, just over 34,000. All of a sudden, Mineplex saw a huge explosion in popularity, rapidly overtaking JavaMC as the most popular Minecraft server. If there was a time to enjoy being a Mineplex player, it was now. There was no doubt in anyone's mind, Mineplex was the top server in all of Minecraft. Numerous other videos have discussed the downfall of Mineplex, and they pretty much say the same thing. Mineplex fell due to bad decisions, Hypixel thrived, and that was that. It's easy to take a look at Mineplex falling in ranking as well as their bad decisions, and pointing to Mineplex's demise as concrete, as a sealed fate, as an inevitable result. There is one event that I've seen everyone overlook, and that is Minecon 2016, when staff at Mineplex believed that they were on track to become the most popular server again. Mineplex was falling behind Hypixel at this point, but something happened that had the potential to change everything. Back in Mineplex's heyday, one of the server's YouTubers was RustyDogT. In a more recent video, he recounts his experience at Minecon 2016. The convention perfectly displayed the contrasts between Mineplex and Hypixel. Both of them had a strong presence. Behind the scenes, the two servers had completely different relations with Mojang. Mineplex saw Mojang favorably, while Hypixel much less so. Many speculate that Hypixel was unhappy with Mojang's lack of attention given to multiplayer, especially highlighted with the 1.9 combat update released just months prior. Mojang was disconnected from the multiplayer community, and the Hypixel team did not like this. Or at least that's how the rumors go. After Minecon, Mineplex staff and YouTubers attended an after party at a Dave & Buster's. It was at this time when Hypixel posted a tweet stating that they would no longer attend Minecon. On the surface, this may appear to be just that. Hypixel will continue to be a large Minecraft server that just so happens not to attend Minecon. But it goes deeper than that. there were rumors going around about a new game that Hypixel was developing. People knew it existed, but not much else beyond that. The staff and YouTubers of Mineplex believed that the Hypixel team would quit Minecraft to focus on what we now know as Hytale. If Hypixel left Minecraft, Mineplex would gain the majority of their player base, and once again, become the largest server in Minecraft. This was an optimistic time to be a Mineplex player. It really appeared that Mineplex would come out victorious after all, but that ended up not being the case. Hypixel was developing Hytale, but also the server at the same time. In fact, the Hypixel server managed to significantly increase its player count through their own versions of existing games, Bed Wars and Skyblock. Mineplex's history after this moment can be summed up through the closures of the server's many minigames, as well as poor minigame releases. Clans was supposed to be one of Mineplex's biggest games, receiving a lot of initial hype. As was mentioned earlier, Clans was first announced way back in December 2014. It was supposed to be released on May 1st of the following year, but the release had to be postponed. The alpha testing began in November. It wasn't until April 2016 when Clans was finally publicly playable, almost a year and a half after the announcement. Nearly all of the initial hype had died down. The game was heavily criticized for the lack of content. Many viewed it as Mineplex releasing a generic faction server. Mineplex Clans became a laughingstock, the perfect example of what not to do for a game release. Mineplex also saw an influx of hackers. A wave of hacking content creators struck YouTube, with one of the most infamous being the YouTuber Xturtle. Xturtle was best known for his videos about hacking on Hypixel and Mineplex. Even when his videos were not directly about hacking, he would commentate over footage of him doing so. His videos inspired lots of players to go out and play on the server using hacked clients. As a result, Mineplex saw a hacker problem unlike any other server. Hypixel also suffered, but not to the same extent. Xturtle promoted servers that were Mineplex replicas, the most infamous being Fakeplex. He also got his hands on a mod account, using it to unban his main account for a video. This forced Mineplex to require two-factor authentication for staff logging onto the server. Xturtle was a force to be reckoned with. He climbed the ranks, reaching 100,000 subscribers. However, everything came crashing down one day. Hypixel sent a cease and desist letter, threatening to sue him unless he took down his Hypixel hacking videos. After taking a look at the legal fees that would be involved, he complied. His channel growth immediately stagnated, and he struggled to keep up his channel growth. While hackers continued to be a problem on Mineplex, Xturtle's loss of influence meant that he was no longer bringing in as many hackers. Xturtle's channel lied in a state of decay until it was terminated with 35 channel strikes on the same day, on October 3rd, 2018.
Mineplex reset their bans for New Year's 2017, which was widely seen as a disastrous move. One of the main reasons why they did this was to try and increase the player count, but in reality, all it did was bring an influx of hackers. Mineplex also made many attempts at releasing new minigames, games like Wizard, Skyfall, but again, this failed to bring in new players. While Hypixel and Mineplex were constantly making new games, trying to one-up each other, Hypixel was the only one that managed to keep up with the ever-growing roster, and on the other hand, Mineplex wasn't. Some of Mineplex's new minigames barely received any renovations and were putting a strain on the server staff. Eventually, they removed a bunch of their minigames so that they could split their team between the Java Edition and the Bedrock Edition servers. 2018 proved to be a challenge for every single server in the game, including Hypixel. Fortnite was dominating the video game scene and caused the player count in every single server to dwindle. Mineplex was no exception. This was perhaps one of the darkest times in Minecraft multiplayer history because the game had lost a significant chunk of its popularity and many thought it would die off, fading into obscurity. But in the summer of 2019, this all turned around when the clouds aligned for the perfect storm. Cursed Minecraft images were becoming popular. Call Me Carson began SMP Live, Laserbeam and PewDiePie also started their own Minecraft series. Philza died to a baby zombie in the longest running hardcore world, and Keemstar started the Minecraft Monday tournaments. And not to mention, it was Minecraft's 10th year anniversary. All of this together did slightly help Mineplex, but the vast majority of the attention went to Hypixel, which had managed to stay intact during the Dark Ages.
Mineplex continued to operate, with its Bedrock server consistently getting more players than the Java Edition server. One of the main appeals is how the Bedrock version of the server can be played across multiple platforms. Not to mention, Mineplex is a Minecraft partner server, meaning that they show up in an official server list. Still, Mineplex Java has fallen quite a lot. Java Edition Mineplex is only a shadow of its former glory. Nowadays, the server gets several thousands of concurrent players during its peak hours, not even 1,000 during low traffic hours. As recent as early June, Mineplex was in the spotlight for a couple hours. Hypixel went down for a bit, which caused Mineplex's player count to spike. The server may be teensy compared to the giant that is Hypixel, but what became known as the Hypixel raid makes it clear that the two servers share a special kind of bond. Even years after all this server war stuff happened, users on Hypixel still remember Mineplex. The tale of Mineplex is one that many of you were there to experience. A tale that could be remembered generations from now, and even if the server is never restored to its former glory, one thing is for certain: Mineplex will continue to live on in our hearts. Here's to Mineplex, the once largest server in Minecraft. So what do you think? Do you have memories of playing on Mineplex? What do you remember? Let me know in the comments. Anyways, that's it for this video. If you'd like to join the Penguin Army and stay tuned for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. If you hated it, don't forget to leave a dislike. Every video I give a shout out, and the shout out for today goes to the one and only UUIV. If you'd like a chance at a shout out, all you have to do is comment on this video. You can say anything and you don't even have to subscribe. I will choose a random comment and put it in my next video. You should join my Discord, link in the description, and you should also join my channel. There's cool perks, including a monthly sponsor party. Thank you to everyone who's purchased membership so far. And if you made it this far into the video, can we get a hashtag Mineplex in the comments? It's a server that a lot of us remember, and even if you weren't there to experience it, you'll see Mineplex's influence all around Minecraft. Besides all that, be sure to check out my other videos. For my last Rise and Fall video, which was about the rise and fall of Skeppy events, you should click on the video to the left. You can also click on the video to the right for the rise and fall of SMP Earth, which was this huge SMP with a lot of YouTubers and streamers. Anyways, that's it, see ya, peace.